5 participants for today's session. Tarika, Vidushi, Rashi, Shivani, Yasir. That's it? Yeah. So, let's begin. Whoever wants to speak first can...
Tell us how much time do we have individually to
The
talk?
time is again 4 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's 45 minutes.
I'll talk? Yeah.
I mean...
Talk from there.
It should be there.
Yeah.
Can I have a podium? I like talking on podium. Shivani.
Okay. Your time is cut to 3 minutes.
Yeah, just because I spoke too much and it can't come on my face.
It's okay if you also exceed 5 minutes. Nobody's gonna stop you. It's okay. Just speak.
Yeah. Alright, I'm just gonna speak. It's about this movie Into the Wild. It is in book as well. Like it got from the book, it got made into the movie. The movie was made by Sean Penn. And I'm going to eventually tell you why I like the movie, but I'll give you a little bit of plot about the movie. The movie is about this 24-year-old boy, how he's grown up into a family where father is already having a son from the previous marriage. So there is a bit of arrogance in him. His mother feels like a young mistress, and he's very close to his sister. But somewhere these two kids, are always feeling a little abandoned. So he feels that his responsibility is only till the time, he graduates. And after that, it's his life. And he's going to look for that bigger meaning. For what, he's been... There's a bit of a feeling of incompleteness, shallowness, hollowness. So he needs to fulfill that. So what is the road that he's going to take? So he graduates. And he has a saving of $24,000 rupees. He gives it to a charity. And he just backpacks and he is on this road. And then he meets these different kind of people. And these people help him to shape his life. So that is what is very inspiring, that how he decides he has to reach out for something. And how he meets these people. And how he touches their lives. So there is this quote which is said by Lord Byron, which comes in the beginning of the movie, which I really, really like. So it says that there is a pleasure in the pathless woods. There is a rapture on the lonely shore. There is society where none intrudes, by the deep sea and music in its roar. I love not man the less, but nature more. But why I say this, the nature more, because he goes to Alaska in the end. And 2 years, he is without cigarettes, without alcohol, without human relationship. He is looking for that nature, that vibe, because eventually he feels that nature might give him something, which he's been feeling so abandoned of. So there was something else which I also liked, which is a little big. I wish I could have, remembered it, but I can't. So 2 years, he walks the earth, no phone, no pool, no pets, no cigarettes. Ultimate freedom. An extremist, an aesthetic voyager whose home is the road. Escaped from Atlanta, thou shalt not return, because the West is the best. And now, after 2 rambling years, comes the final and greatest adventure, the climatic battle to kill the false, being within, and victoriously conclude the spiritual pilgrimage. 10 days and nights of freight trains and hitchhiking bring him to the great white north. So finally, after the people he's met on the road, he goes to Alaska. But when he's there in the jungle, initially it's so nice, he loves it. He sees these deers running, he's taking a shower under the tree, and it's like a beautiful, beautiful scene if you guys watch the movie. So, and when he looks at this whole, he's standing, there's a scene where he's standing and he sees this beauty, okay? And he's got these tears in his eyes, and you feel it. I mean, the actor, Hirsch Wild is the actor. He's acted really nicely. So through looking to his eyes, you feel that, he feels it, that yes, he's reached it. But what happens, because on the road, he's also reading books by Tolstoy, because Tolstoy was also into spirituality and, how he abandoned everything. And how do you pronounce Thoreau? Thraeeu, that author. Thoreau. So he's reading that. But what happens eventually? He realizes that happiness is, I think, much better when shared. And he feels that at the end of the day, maybe, human relationships are important. Families are more important. So when he's in Alaska, he finds a small tribe, where he's living. But he decides that maybe it's time that I go back. And, he decides to go back eventually only, because Alaska, when he had to come to Alaska, he meets this old man, okay, whose family has abandoned him. So he says that, Christopher, why don't you be my son? So he says that we will talk about it when I come back. So that old man, Ron, his name is Ron, he tells Christopher that I'm going to miss you when you go. So Christopher replies saying, I will miss you too, but you are wrong if you think that the joy of life comes principally from the joy of human relationship. God's place is all around us. It is in everything and in anything we can experience. People just need to change the way they look at things. Yeah, I'm going to take stock of that. Now Ron is replying, okay, and he says that, yes, of course I'm going to take the stock of that. You know I am. I want to tell you something from bits and pieces of what you've told me about your family, your mother and your dad. And I know you have problems with the church as well. But there is some kind of a bigger thing that we can all appreciate, and it sounds to me, you don't mind calling it God. But when you forgive, you love. And when you love, God's light shines through it. So Christopher's reply, because this is such a heavy reply, so Christopher's reply is only like, holy shit. And then he just takes off to Alaska. So I read this quote before coming to the conclusion. The ironical part is that he here says that, people are not maybe really important for happiness. There are also a lot of other things which God has put aside of us which can make us feel happy. But when he's lying in that tramp and, he decides to come back to his family, he's also reading this book, Family Happiness. And he feels like it's time that I go back and everything. But he wants to cross the whole stream. And the stream has sadly become bigger. And he feels really sad and sorrowful that, he wishes that the stream was not that bigger. He wishes that, he could go back to his family because eventually what he was looking out for was what he already had. And he goes back to the tramp. And he's reading about all these, flora, fauna, about these herbs and all. And he's feeding himself on plants because, of course, he's living in Alaska. And he opens the wrong page and he eats the wrong wheel and he dies there when he's just 24-year-old. And this is a true story of a man, and we know everything about him because, he's written a journal. But it just tells you at the end of the day that, what we have is what we have, is what we're looking for. So why not just enjoy what we have?